There is a movie Hannibal, there is a TV series Hannibal, but today I will tell the real story of a real creepy cannibal. Yoo Young-chul, also known as Yoo Young-chul in Korean, was born on April 18, 1970. He gained notoriety as a South Korean serial killer, sex offender, and self-proclaimed cannibal. Yoo confessed to committing a series of murders, primarily targeting prostitutes and affluent elderly women. The Seoul Central District Court found him guilty of 20 murders, although one case was later attributed to another serial killer named Jeong Nam-gyu. Yoo's horrifying acts involved burning 3 of his victims and mutilating at least 11 others. Shockingly, he admitted to consuming the livers of some of his victims. Yoo carried out his heinous crimes over a period spanning from September 2003 to July 2004. Authorities apprehended him on July 15, 2004. In front of a television camera, Yoo revealed his motivations, stating, "Women shouldn't engage in promiscuous behavior, and the wealthy should be aware of the consequences of their actions." His chilling statement offered a glimpse into his twisted mindset and the distorted justifications he used to justify his gruesome acts. Biography. In 1992, Yoo entered into marriage and became a father to a son. Prior to his series of murders, Yoo had a troubled history with the law, having been convicted on 14 separate occasions for various offenses. These charges encompassed a range of crimes, leading to a cumulative prison sentence of 7 years. It was during this period of incarceration that Yoo's dark and violent tendencies began to manifest themselves in a string of horrific murders. Serial murders. Between September and November 2003, Yoo targeted and murdered several affluent elderly individuals by forcibly entering their homes and using a hammer to bludgeon them. In order to conceal his crimes, Yoo staged the scenes to resemble robbery homicides, although no money was actually taken. This perplexed the police investigators. As the investigation intensified, Yoo shifted his focus to female masseuses. In January 2004, Yoo was briefly apprehended on a minor theft charge but was released after 2 days. From March 2004 onwards, Yoo lured prostitutes to his residence in Western Seoul, where he engaged in sexual activities with them before brutally attacking them with a blunt object. He dismembered and mutilated his victims to impede identification and buried their remains in the mountains surrounding the city. Following Yoo's arrest, the police discovered 11 bodies in the mountainous area behind Bongwon Temple. During the initial interrogations, Yoo confessed to the murder of 19 individuals. However, on July 18, 2004, he admitted to an additional killing, that of a 44-year-old male street vendor. Subsequently, on July 19, 2004, several days after his arrest, Yoo confessed to a total of 26 murders, though he did not provide any specific details. Interestingly, some of the alleged victims did not fit his previous pattern of targeting wealthy seniors or masseuses. Friends of 2 of the masseuse victims, whose bodies had been recovered, denied their involvement in the massage therapy profession, indicating the possibility of unreported victims. Despite the contemporaneous activity of the Rainy Thursday murderer, who stabbed multiple women in southwest Seoul during April 2004, the police were unable to establish a connection between Yoo and those murders. A few days later, Yoo also confessed to the murder of a young woman, an employee at a clothing store, on February 6, 2004, in Amindong. He had approached her under the guise of being a police officer for questioning. Approximately a month after his arrest, Yoo confessed to the disturbing act of consuming the flesh of his victims. However, no evidence was found to substantiate this claim. Arrest for murder. On July 15, 2004, Yoo was taken into custody and initially confessed to the murder of up to 19 individuals, specifically targeting affluent senior citizens and masseuses. His suspicious activities came to light when he made phone calls to a massage parlor where several employees had recently gone missing under similar circumstances. In response, the owner of the massage parlor, accompanied by employees and a lone police officer, arranged a meeting with Yoo. However, The police officer left the scene before Yoo's arrival, and it was the massage parlor employees who apprehended him. While in custody, Yoo pretended to experience epileptic symptoms and managed to escape when his restraints were momentarily loosened. However, he was recaptured 12 hours later. Notably, Yoo had previously attempted to escape arrest in 2002 by feigning an epileptic seizure after being apprehended for rape. Later in July, when Yoo was brought to the prosecutor's office, the mother of one of the murder victims from Mindong confronted him with an umbrella, expressing her anguish and asserting that her daughter would still be alive if the police had captured him earlier. In an attempt to restrain her, a policeman kicked the mother in the chest, explaining that his hands were occupied with holding Yoo. Motives. Following Yoo's arrest, his apartment was searched, and the contents found inside led to speculation that he had drawn inspiration for his killings from various movies, including Public Enemy, Very Bad Things, and Normal Life. Additionally, Yoo confessed to being influenced by the actions of serial killer Jang Do-young, who had carried out the murders of 9 wealthy individuals in Busan from 1999 to 2000. Regarding the murders of wealthy elderly individuals, prosecutors stated that Yoo's actions were driven by a deep-seated hostility stemming from his impoverished upbringing during childhood. In relation to his targeting of women, prosecutors claimed that Yoo's resentment originated from a past betrayal by a former lover. He specifically sought out women with similar occupations as his ex-partner as a means of seeking revenge. Yoo also told the police that he killed women because he harbored a deep hatred towards them. A psychologist who evaluated Yoo concluded that he did not exhibit signs of mental illness but displayed typical traits associated with antisocial personality disorder. This disorder is characterized by an individual creating their own belief system founded on a lack of trust in moral and social norms. Trial and penalty. The police acknowledged the limited amount of physical evidence connecting Yoo to the murders. On September 6, 2004, Yoo made his first appearance in court. He refused to defend himself, announced his intention to boycott the rest of the trial, and expressed apologies to the victims. Yoo arrogantly declared that he had no intention of stopping his actions. 2 weeks later, when he was compelled to attend another court session, he lunged at the 3 judges presiding over the case and recanted his confession for the Mindong murder in February 2004. Prior to the next scheduled court session on October 4, 2004, Yoo attempted suicide the night before and refused to appear. 3 weeks later, during another hearing, Yoo disrupted the proceedings when he tried to attack a spectator who had cursed him. As a result, Yoo signed a statement promising not to cause further disturbances. The prosecutors sought the death penalty for Yoo, to which he expressed gratitude. On December 13, 2004, he was sentenced to death for 20 counts of murder, excluding the murder in Mindong in February 2004. The prosecutors appealed the verdict in an attempt to secure the 21st count of murder. However, on June 8, 2005, the Supreme Court upheld the lower court sentence. Yoo's case shocked and appalled the people of South Korea, sparking a significant debate on the topic of capital punishment in the country. Although the death penalty is still legally permissible, it has not been executed since 1997. There were discussions about the potential abolition of capital punishment prior to Yoo's arrest, but support for the death penalty has since grown as more details of his crimes emerged. The Seoul Central District Court stated, "The murders of up to 20 people are unprecedented in the country and constitute a highly serious crime. Considering the immense pain inflicted on the affected families and society as a whole, the death penalty is inevitable for Yoo." Currently, Yoo is being held at the Seoul Detention Center.